guys, we've got a big day planned today. We're swinging down to Melbourne. We're going to pick our big mate Barry Hall up. We're going to go over the VL build, which we explained about a month ago. We're going to meet the team in person, and they're going to give us a bit of a brief where we're going with the VL, which I'm pretty excited about. Also, another piece to the puzzle is WARBIRD. So it's been out of action for a little bit. We've teamed up with Frank from Dandy Engines, and we've got some exciting stuff, so hope you enjoy.
We're down here at Dandy Engines with Frank. Frank has squeezed it in with his busy schedule, but you wouldn't have many drag cars in here, or burnout cars. No, so it's mainly drag cars you do.
No, I don't know. I haven't hit the scene on burnout motors, but to me it's a piston engine, and you know we know what we need to do to make it survive. And thanks for giving me a go. You know. Well,
that's it. Engine's an engine, but you've requested the kit, bring the car down. And you want to put it on the chassis dyno?
Yeah, we're going to put it on like a hub dyno.
A hub dyno, sorry. Yeah.
We'll load the engine up, make sure that it behaves. It's been out, it's been apart. Anything could have been put back wrong. The last thing you want to do is put the driver straight in the burnout pad, not knowing if there's a problem. I think that the hub dyno's a very controlled environment, so we can give it a couple of light squirts, make sure everything's behaving, and then we can send it.
Have you sat in the seat yet?
I haven't sat in the seat. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind going out there and doing the skid one of these days.
We've gone 5 or 6 seconds in a quarter mile. Surely a burnout car's not intimidating to you?
Oh look, those guys have got it down pat, so the last thing I want to do is go out and make, look like a fool, because those guys have got it down to a professional, a good skid's not easy to do.
Absolutely, they're reliable and they're very talented. But let's get on the hub dyno and see what it produces.
Let's see what we can do. So we've gone over the tappets after the engine dyno, the hub dyno, made sure the push rods are behaving. Everything looks good. I suppose let's fire it up before we pack it up, put it in the box, see what happens. I don't know if it's going to start without spraying it, but we'll give it a shot. Gotta love mechanical injection. I'm used to EFI. so we've gone through the engine, been on the engine dyno naturally aspirated, just to make sure it's got no water leaks and oil leaks. The boys back at the shop put it in the car. They brought it back here. We've gone over it, prepared it for a hub dyno run, given it a couple of pulls on the hub dyno. Again, just to make sure now in the car with the blower and everything, it's nice and safe. It's behaving really good. It's set to a safe tune. It's ready for a skid pad.
Well, we're down here at Dandenong at PSIDUP. They're going to fabricate a rear end for the VL, so let's go and see how they're tracking. Time's a ticket. So we're here with Lewis with the VL, and he's managing the project. We told him what we wanted to do, run 6 seconds and around 200 miles an hour. And he told us what we needed, which is quite a bit of work. So if you want to run through what we're actually going to do to the car.
Yep. All right, so for a 6-7 second car, the VLs are a good start. What we start off with really is connectors. Just really tightens up the body of the car, prevents twisting and whatnot. Top body brackets are a bit of a downfall on them when you're running the factory stuff. It tends to punch through the floors. So we've basically put a clip in this car. We've got all the radial brackets in it, so we get more adjustability in the lower arms, and then more adjustability in the top arms, just in the body itself, and then you got all the adjustability on the diff as well. Then coming back, we've got all the bar work for your fuel cell, and then we'll do parachute off that, track locator off that. Then we'll do the shocks up the top, anti-roll bar, all that sort of stuff. We've done a rail notch to fit big wheels. We've done a 15 by 12 with a 275. That should be pretty bang on for a 6-7 second pass.
Yeah, so at the moment you've tacked it all up, so you get it all tacked up, and this is actually all remove out as one.
Yeah.
Fully welded up.
Yeah.
And it's ready to go back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. So you got the diff center and the housing, the axles and all.
Yeah. So we've done a fabricated housing.
Yep.
We've got the fabricated housing, and then we've got the race products floater kit. So that way, if it does snap an axle, you're not going to crash.
Okay.
It's the safest way to do it and the strongest way to do it. Then we've got all the mood anti-roll bar set up. So pretty much that's just a heavy duty sway bar. Got lower diff brackets. Again, you can see all the adjustability you can get. Absolutely. Coilover brackets, and we'll do the anti-roll bar off that.
And shockers, obviously pretty important in radial racing.
Yeah, 100%. So we're going to do long travel shocks. I think we're going to do a 6-inch shock. Yep. That'll be for the rear end. You'll be set for a 6 to 7 second pass, no problems.
Excellent. So as you said, you're going to tie in the fuel tank, the parachute, and obviously with the original cage, you've got to tie up that with the rear clip as well.
Yeah. So the car already had the roll cage in it. So we've just done the clip. Then what we're going to do is some more bar work to tie in the clip to the roll cage. But yeah, your fuel cell parachute, everything's going to be one piece. Yep. And then welded back up into the car.
So the good thing is you've got one finished.
Yeah.
So we can see the finished product.
Yeah.
Can we go have a look at that now?
Yep.
Let's go.
Alright, so here we've got another customer's car. It's pretty much exact same as what we're giving for Barry. As you can see, you've got the long Mensa shocks. Then underneath, do the anti-roll bar brackets done by Mood with the Mood arms. Comes up, onto this bar where your coilovers mount. Yeah, so you can see everything really.
So ours will always have the floor pan
So
in it.
with your car, we're keeping the factory floor. This
Yep.
one's going to be all tinned out like a show car.
Yep.
Your car's just built for race, really.
Excellent. It's coming up well. So another piece of the puzzle is accessories and dyno tuning. And the guy that does all my dynos is Sticks at QUICKBITS down in Dandenong. And we've got a fair indication of what we need engine-wise. But Sticks hooked us up with a lot of the accessories, which is as important as anything else.
Yeah, so pretty much Christmas has come early for you guys. I've been approached with the boys to build to help them build a approximate 2,000 horsepower capable setup, and possibly look for that 6-second zone. So we've got some pieces together. We thought that are quite crucial, that we need to keep the thing as safe. Got a nice big turbocharger by Garrett. This is a G57, 102mm. It's rated around 2,700 horsepower. So this should achieve our goals quite easy. So it's a great choice. We have that awesome Garrett reliability, and we need that. Another thing that everyone skips out on is fuel system. On a car like this, you need big fuel. Now, unfortunately, electric pumps just don't cut it, Baz. If you do that, if you're running electric pump setup, you need to have a big alternator, and then you're moving like 100 amps with the current backwards and forwards around the car, it's going to be an issue. Yep. You know, so let's drop the big alternator. We put a mechanical fuel pump, just like this. Even though it looks small, big things come in small packages, guys. These float a lot. 13.5 gallons out of this. Yep. So we're talking mega fuel flow. That'll keep up with the passes that you guys want to do, and will also be enough for a little bit of methanol later on. I know you guys are into burnouts and stuff, and burning alcohol is the name of the game, so we can switch between fuels. This car can run on E85, unleaded, and methanol. So it's going to be a great thing. Again, don't skip out on a good fuel filter. 10 micron, not 140, what everyone else is using. This is 10 micron. It'll get rid of those small particles that can block the injectors. And then let's not forget the fuel reg. Another thing, you put a mechanical fuel pump, guys, you need to put the right reg with a large return hole on the bottom. That way we can drop the fuel pressure that this bad boy makes. It makes a lot of fuel pressure, especially on idle, so we need to bypass it with the equivalent reg. Got your little mount, because obviously some people don't have the room to put these in the engine bay, and which most street cars don't. So we've got an option where you can mount this onto this little setup, and then you can simply run a cable off this onto the front of the engine. So you can mount the mechanical fuel pump in the boot. That's what we're doing, just to keep things simple. and it saves putting a surge tank in the front. If you have a front impact, an accident, this is where it's important. You have an accident, especially for a street car, you don't want fuel tanks in the front.
No.
Race car, who cares? You've got bar work everywhere. It is what it is. But street cars want to try and keep it safe, keep the fuel in the back. And the last piece of the puzzle, QUICKBITS flow matched injectors. Again, they're good for the power that we want on E85. These are stainless steel. They're going to survive the harsh treatment. So you want to go methanol alcohol, you have to put the right parts, make sure everything's anodized, because it is quite corrosive. And yeah, just we get it all together and see this bad boy sing, and then we can put on the dyno after you guys do some wiring and plumbing.
Yep.
You guys went to PSIDUP, so how's all that going?
It's all going good.
Yeah.
So yes, chassis's fully in motion.
Beautiful.
So they said about 2 weeks.
Oh,
I've got all the accessories on the bench here, so that's great.
Right. And they started attacking the fuel cell and
That's all in there, yeah. Yep.
Great.
So that's all coming along really well.
Cool.
So engines now the next thing. We're
Yeah.
going to go speak with Paul Turner about the engine.
Have a chat to him.
But we get all that in place. We put it on the dyno. What sort of boost are we going to chase for what we need?
I think we're going to be up mid 30s to 40 pound mark to end up with the power we want. I reckon, but we'll probably go do some testing at low 30s and just get some seat time and set up the rear end. But I'm quite confident that this thing will see 45 or so pounds with the gear you guys are putting in it. And we know with a turbo like that, that's 2,000 horsepower straight away.
Yep.
So yeah, just keep in touch. You guys will see on the videos, and I'm sure we're going to see the car here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll get on the dyno and we'll go through it all and see what we find. And I'm sure we're going to have some challenges that we can probably talk about, and
Yes.
some workarounds and fixes.
So the other thing we spoke about is fuels. So
Yes.
methanol you can run, absolutely.
Yes.
But E85 is probably best suited to what we've got right now.
I think so. It's a great all-rounder. You don't have the fuel flushing issues. Again, the volume of fuel is not there, so yeah, I think it's a good all-rounder. It's a lot easier to maintain the car. They run nicer, they're smoother. You haven't got the cold start issues, and plus it's better on your lungs. So ethanol is also, it's a green fuel. It's good for the environment. It's not toxic, so let's try and use it. But again, if we're running a 7.0, I think we're going to be tipping some methanol in this bad boy.
Yeah, well, if we get there, we have to, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. So whatever we have to do, we'll throw at it.
No, you've done well so far. Thanks for
worries.
giving a bit of an insight in what we need. But
Awesome.
yeah, another piece of the puzzle ticked off. So Project VL Drag Challenge is definitely underway, and probably the most important part is the heartbeat of the car, and that's the engine. We come to Paul Turner, one of the best in the business, and said we want about 2,000 horsepower. We want to run about 690 to about 200. What do we need? So Paul, run us through what we need.
We're going to start with probably about 400 cubes, the 402 I think, dart block, Kelly's billet crank, Carrillo aluminium rod, diamond custom piston. We'll go with the Higgins mechanical roller cylinder head, the intake, which Nathan will show you all that stuff. That's probably about it.
Let me just go fire ring and Torrington bearing. And all those
fire
sorts of
ring,
things.
Torrington bearing on the crank. About 10.5 to 1 compression. We'll start with E85 I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
And a lot of the internals are rated for well over the power we want to produce. It's all really good gear.
Should make 2,000 pretty easy, I think. Probably about 750 thou lift solid roller, not too radical, so can still drive it on the street.
Absolutely. We're going to talk to Nathan very, very soon, but we've jumped the queue with his heads. As you can hear in the background, there's a lot of noise. Best heads in the business, but we also got a velocity intake. They've got a raised runner to suit Nathan's heads. There's not a lot of companies in the country that do this, so thanks to those guys for getting that through to us. So Paul has got the bottom end of the engine sorted. We thought we'd come to Nathan Higgins, who's very sought after, and the lineup is very long, so we jumped the queue, so we apologise for everyone else, but why wouldn't you? Some of the quality he's got. We did choose to go with the LS7 head. Plans have changed a little bit. We went from the LS3 to the LS7, from hydraulic roller to solid roller. So now we're at LS7 with roller camshaft.
Yeah, solid roller. Yeah, so we started, originally Paul ordered, you ordered for Paul, the hydraulic setup, which will show a couple of little things. That's a Texas speed rocker that we use quite a fair bit on the hydraulic. The thing with the hydraulic, it's got an 8mm bolt in it. It uses the factory style cradle from an LS7 head. So you've got a little bit of movement there. It's great for a for a road car, like hydraulic road car. Yeah, still make plenty of power. There's plenty of guys making 2,000 and running 6s. But if you want to step it up, you go to the big boys and you get the big bar crowd rockers, like if you can see there, by the difference that we're having. Obviously these will take 1,000 pound open spring pressures. And you've got a 7/16 bolt holding it all together instead of the 8mm.
That's the way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, for what you're doing. For a drag car, that's the way I'd go.
Yeah.
If it was my car, that's what I'd be doing.
Absolutely. And you've especially designed the heads with the raised port for the application we need.
Yeah, so this is our LS7 with the Crowler rocker setup. Like TZ do them and Jessel do as well. We go with this Crowler steel bodied stuff. So as you'll see here, there's a little extra, an 1/8 of an inch raised. So we've actually raised the runner up from a true LS7. So to raise it up, we've obviously had to lift out the flange. And then in doing that, we've actually moved the port sideways a little bit for line of sight as well. And then we'll go through the velocity. Joel at Velocity's worked real close with us to design a whole new manifold runner system for our heads. There's a couple of guys that have done it for our heads now, but hey, I've got along with Joel for a few years now, so he's been really good.
Yep. So Velocity and Sean's Customs.
Yeah, Sean does one as well.
Yep.
So yeah.
Okay, so we've got the bottom end sorted, we've got the heads put on, intake sorted. We're starting to get there. We're starting to get there now. We've got all the valves ordered, in stock.
Yeah, the valves we're going to go with a titanium intake for just the lightweight, and we're going to go for an Inconel exhaust for the heat.
Awesome. And we'll make the power we want to make.
If he screws it together, right?
You better.
But we'll put it all on him.
Absolutely.
Always blame the cylinder head.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Everyone blames the cylinder heads, but I'm in first, so I'm blaming the engine builder.
We've also softened the chambers on these ones, Nathan, as well.
Yeah, so then we've also softened the chambers, as Paul said. So that just helps with the turbo, the blown applications to burn better.
Yep.
So
looks good. Excellent. We're underway. We're getting there.
Hopefully we can show a bit of the block in the next week or so. Block will be all milled out for the Jessel belt drive. So in the next couple of weeks we should start to see some good progress.
Awesome. Everything's in line. Everything's working. Yeah. Everything's oiled up and working smoothly. So thank you, boys. So we just got back from a big day of travelling, a lot of driving. We just went and visited all those guys who are going to help us out. So thanks to all those people because they're going above and beyond for us. The time commitment we put to them was almost unrealistic, but they're giving us a chop out. So thanks, guys. But the time commitment we have got, we're 50-50 at the moment.
Oh, I think we're realistic, yeah. There's no guarantee we will make. We're aiming. put a lot of faith in the team you put together. So Barry's come up to a bit of a crew. I was lucky enough to go down with Baz and introduce myself to him. And after being there, I think we've got definitely got the team on board to achieve it. So, but we are staying realistic. We're worn out. It's been a big day actually getting around and getting it done. But like I said, we're 50-50. Hopefully we get it together and Baz can make this happen. So
we can get it together, and then also we obviously want to try and run 6 and 200 mile an hour. That's the ultimate goal. But we're probably not going to run that at drag challenge. We just want to try and get there. The car will eventually run that. We'll make sure of that. But realistic in expectations, we're trying to keep in check. We're just trying to get the car there at the moment. We've got all the right people to do it, and I think we can. But that's touch and go. If anything goes wrong, we're probably not going to make it.